If you're like most managers, you may frequently run into difficult people at work. I train executives in leadership, diversity, and stress management. And when I ask them about their biggest challenges, they usually complain about other people's behavior. My clients are jerks, or my boss doesn't value me. My colleagues are cutthroat. They think there's nothing they can do about the difficult people in their lives. But I disagree. If you change your reaction to someone's behavior, you can change the situation. One of my clients, Joe, did this during a big company meeting. He'd given a product presentation to hundreds of his colleagues, and in the Q&A at the end, one person, Margot, complained. She said, "You didn't do justice to this product." Joe was shocked and embarrassed to be criticized like that in public. He felt insecure and thought to himself, "I've never been good at presenting." But then he stopped himself. He identified the emotions and thoughts he was experiencing and told Margot, "I feel terrible because I know this meeting is critical, and I'm disappointed I couldn't get my point across because I really believe in this product." Margot was caught off guard and quickly backed off. So how did Joe neutralize Margot? Well, first, he shifted his attention to his feelings and his thoughts. This stopped him from internalizing Margot's criticism and focused him on his reaction to it. You can also shift your attention to a physical sensation you're experiencing, like sweaty palms or a pounding heartbeat. Second, Joe responded with a non-judgmental observation. When we feel attacked, we often launch into this counterattack, but that only escalates things. When you respond with an observation, you actually disarm the other person. They can only back off, which is exactly what Margot did. In some situations, you can add a third step to this process, and that's asking a thoughtful question. For example, during another presentation Joe was giving, a colleague of his, Ted, kept picking up business calls on his cell phone. Joe said, "I know you're busy and your calls are important, but is there anything I can do to help you take care of your other commitments?" A thoughtful question can help the other person become aware of their inappropriate behavior, and maybe even stop it. You can't make difficult people disappear, but the process I just described can help you change the situation by changing your own reaction. You can use this process in your professional and personal life, and the more you practice it, the easier it gets.